Welcome to 4th and 1. Well, I always got it done. Bringing facts by the time before the rising of the sun. But this ain't me in the shotgun. This me in front of your TV having a whole lot of fun. Peggy!
What happening, bud?
Man, wake up. I ain't been hearing from you, bro. You all
I know,
right?
bro. I'm tapped in, bro. We here all day, bro.
Talk to me.
Strong.
Who we got, Peg?
And we got a guest now. A star within himself, owner of AEW.
Thank you.
And the chief football officer for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony Khan, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. I really
When I
appreciate it.
say
What
that
an
boy
intro.
got his own money, he got his own money.
This is great.
Tony, how you doing, bro?
Fantastic. It's so great to be on your show, Cam. I'm doing very well, and I have to say, you have my favorite name for a show ever because I got my start. This is my 13th season in the NFL as an analytics and working in analytics and scouting, and 4th and 1 is this thing I probably believe in as much as anyone, and so it's a great name, and that is definitely where you got it done. You're the best.
But I would say this. The analytical part, is it making the game good or bad?
I'll give you great examples of where it can be good. All right, there's multiple players I've identified as using a mix of analytics and scouting, but largely analytics-based, that are for undrafted free agency, which is kind of like where I've kind of carved out over the years where I've done good stuff in the league.
Right.
And so just a good example, we have a player on our roster that we signed out of the draft last year that I called up and signed purely analytics, but also analytics is everything in football's numbers. You know what I mean?
Everything in life is numbers.
Yeah, look at your percentages on 4th and 1 and your conversion rates and why that made sense and why all the sneaks you picked up and all the quarterback runs made sense. And I do think analytics has made the game better. I truly do, but I think it has to be implemented well by people who understand and love football. And Mike Hilton's a good example of a player. Mike Hilton now has had a great career. I found Mike Hilton. I signed him for $5,000, and he got cut by the coaching staff. I think I was right on that one, and it's been proven right because he's one of the best nickel corners in the NFL. And we had Mike Hilton, and we cut him in camp. And so I do believe analytics can make it better, but it's all about how it gets used. Jared Wilson had a really good career with us. He made plays in the playoffs against the Steelers, and we won that game, and the Patriots. And it was a good DB out of Michigan that I found with analytics and signed for $7,500 guaranteed after the draft.
Wow.
And so there's good examples of it. Trey Hernan's been with us for many years out of Vanderbilt, same thing. I do think it can, but again, it's about how it gets used.
I'll tell you this. There's not been a person who I wanted to kind of mimic something and just haven't been. How does your dad get that mustache so healthy, bro?
He's the best. I mean, he's he's a movie character. He's one of the most vibrant, and it's very befitting him that he has such a great mustache, but he's a force of nature. So I think that's how.
So for you, coming into this space of sports, me knowing the NFL for what it is, being a minority in respect of coming into a very sacred fraternity from ownership standpoint. Not all owners are men, but also the representation is masculine. How was that able to happen for you and your family?
What a great question. My father worked his way up. He came from Pakistan with almost nothing, with a few dollars, and went to the University of Illinois and became an engineer and worked his way up, and he ended up building an auto parts company that got so big over the years that he got to fulfill his dream, which was buying a football team, buying the Jaguars. And of course, I grew up loving football in the Midwest, so it was a dream come true for me to be able to watch him make that dream come true, being so close to him, loving him so much. And he made it possible, I think, by growing his business, where he was the first minority NFL owner and
full owner.
Yeah, and full 100% owner. And I think what he's done with the team, now he's built a great infrastructure in Jacksonville and built the brand up in London, where we play at Wembley Stadium, and that's how I think really it's helped the organizational culture, because everybody wants to win for him.
So you have access to these top secret meetings. What goes on in those meetings?
Tell us the team, man.
What, like in the league meeting?
No, not the league meeting, the owner meetings.
Yeah. The owners' meetings. I'm in the owners' meetings. I mean, to be fair, they're privileged and confidential, so I'm
saying,
I'm
like,
bound by like
the human elements of like, yo, how many people are able to be a plus, like your father, for example, obviously with you, when you're having these type of meetings, how many, you have a assistant, do they make those meetings, or do you have like a representative, do they make those meetings?
It's a great question.
Are
The
y'all
league
eating
office,
like
well, the
healthy,
league
or?
office. Think about what the league office is, and the league office. The NFL is the most powerful media entity in the world. It's this amazing. Then you're one of the great stars of the NFL, and so you've been part of this machine firsthand. It's all 32 teams come together, and then the league office is a representative of all the teams. So then we built this great office that then is really well organized. They sell the TV rights. Big stuff in the meetings. It's like the TV rights. That's the biggest media rights in the world. So it's a really well organized presentations about where we should be putting them. The Super Bowl, this is the biggest Super Bowl ever. And it's going to be the most profitable, biggest Super Bowl ever here in Las Vegas. The business of that, and like how it gets organized, where we go, why, when we, and they do a great job. And the league office is an extension of the 32 teams trying to hire the best people. I'm in there, and I can tell you there's a ton of time being spent on making it more diverse, on making the office more diverse. And when Roger said like half the people now are women or minorities, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Can I ask you a banger for a question?
Yeah, let's go.
Like, are you really
Let's go.
ready?
Yes, sir.
Is marijuana a performance-enhancing drug?
I can't speak to that. Like, I don't think that it is. I don't. It's medical. It's medical or recreational in most of the United States now.
Right.
So it's hard to say that. But it's a great question. I'm not sure.
So, to that term of, what's the Jacksonville Jaguars' edge for you, Tony? Like, when you say culture, and as I build my media team,
Yes, sir.
I want to create a culture. Everybody knows that I'm trying to create the standard of business.
Yes.
What's your standard of business and culture?
Well, I mean, it starts from the top down. I think my dad sets a really good standard, and I believe we've been searching for the people. I believe we got a great group that is aligned. I really believe in Doug Peterson. I think he's a great guy and a great coach, and people want to play for Doug. I mean, you've played for a lot of coaches, and I've been in the league. This is my 13th season, and for me, Doug is the standard that I've been around. And talk about 4th and 1 again. Doug. Players want to play for Doug, and then when the chips are down, Doug will gamble. And Doug for Trevor, I think Doug is a great mentor. Doug's played in the NFL. Doug's played for teams in the NFL. He's been and coached, and he was. He was Brett Favre's backup quarterback in the Super Bowl, and so he saw the preparation and saw it firsthand, and he also played in the league and also coached at the highest level and has won the Super Bowl as a coach. Everybody respects him, but he's also a great guy.
Absolutely. Last question for me. What does the Jacksonville Jaguars need to get over that hump and being a real contender for years to come?
Well, it's a great question. I think we're on the verge. We had a great 2 winning seasons in a row, and we had a great playoff season and then a great start to this season. And I think we have to finish games in the second half of the season. This past year was important, and I do think we can have a great draft, a great free agency this year, and we're on the verge of doing something really great. I really do believe the buy-in from the fans. We have a great coach. We have a lot of people on the same page, and the roster is really right there. We have a great young quarterback and great players, skilled players around him, and on offense and defense, a lot of talent. So I'm really excited about it.
So, did I see this right? Y'all about to do more enhancements to the stadium?
We hopefully will be. We just built we went from having arguably, to be honest, you'd appreciate this again as a great veteran and star of the league. We went from having arguably the worst practice and having an office, definitely office, some of the worst offices, to having the best. We just built a $120 million facility in Jacksonville, adjacent to the stadium, so it's all right there. And now some of the old facilities really only get used now on game day because like you're in the stadium, but like you don't want to go across the parking lot. But like the new office is so good, so it's a lot of things coming together. I think it's an exciting time.
Perfect.
Now that you're not playing, I should try to get you for AEW in the wrestling ring.
Man, listen.
Yeah. Get him in there.
I want to
throw him in the ring. You got
I
to
will
contend to go
not
against
say
him.
I won't do anything ever. So there's a chance. So you're
great.
telling me there's a chance.
I'll take it. It's like Jim Carrey.
And so from that realm, now it comes down to it must make sense. And when I say sense, my sense don't start with an S. My sense starts with a C.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That's great. Either way, I mean the dollars and cents of it, or however you slice it, I'm just happy to be here as a great admirer of yours to talk football with you, but also I got to get in the plugs for the AEW on
TBS
and TNT. We started something really special. We built up. We've been competitive neck and neck over the last 4 weeks. 3 out of the last 4 weeks, our show on Wednesday has beat the NBA on ESPN, or AEW Wrestling, which is a brand new league on TBS. And TNT, we got a show here Saturday. I'd love to have, if you're free Saturday night, I bet you have a lot of stuff going on, but we'd love to have you anytime you want to come to the show, Cam, to AEW.
Absolutely. With so much business, are you focused on one, or that keeps you?
I love it. I love having like multiple things that I love and being able to focus on them. And then if there's always something to do. And I love the work. I love football. Like I said, right before we went on the air, like I went from being an 80+ hour a week football grinder, like doing stats, going to games all the time, and I still love that part of it. I don't have the 80 hours in the office anymore like I used to, but I'm still a big part of it. And then living my life in London, like running football operations and scouting and data for a Premier League team. Huge part of my life too with Fulham, which I love. So having really the three things that I focus on with AEW wrestling and Fulham and the Jaguars, it always gives me some good business to focus on.
Hit me, Pat.
Ow.
Oh, shit.
Well, Mr. Tony, a lot of times in this culture we say the thing, I want to give you your flowers. But in this case, I'm going to give you your cigar.
Yes.
And not for being anything other than relatable. I appreciate that, bro.
Thanks, man.
So I know you're running a lot of businesses. You got a lot of going on. Much success to you and the Jacksonville Jaguars, the AEW, and all the business that you have.
Wow, this is amazing.
From my
Thank you
team
so much. I love this. It's so this is it's the 19 and the 10?
1910, Casa 1910.
I love it.
Nicaraguan cigar from out of Mexico. And it has many different layers and options of tobacco leaf.
Hell yeah.
Here we go.
You're the man.
One hand out. One hand out.
Yo, yeah.
Oh, you put your hand out.
We'll put it up.
No.
One hand out.
Hand out.
Come on, Tony.
I know this is the closer.
Okay.
One hand out.
One hand. This hand out.
It doesn't matter. Yes.
Yes,
when
sir.
I say all together, you're going to say one love.
Okay.
All right?
One love.
This is what the analytics is saying.
Yes, sir.
That you say one finger, one pinky, one thumb, all together.
One love. Let's go, Tony.
Thank you, Cam.
You did it.
You did it,
Tony.
What a great pleasure. Thank you for having me. This was so awesome.